Sahajam karma kaunteya sadosham api natyaje sarvaram vahi doshena bhumena niribhavrata. Sahajam, born simultaneously, karma, work, kaunteya, O son of Kunti, sadosham, api, although, na, never, yajed, one should give up sarvarambha, all ventures. He certainly, doshena, with fault, dhumena, with smoke, agni, fire, diva, as avrata, covered. Translation prepared by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta, Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Every endeavor is covered by some fault, just as fire is covered by smoke. Therefore, one should not give up the work born of his nature. The son of Kunti, even if such work is full of fault. Please repeat. Every endeavor is covered by some smoke, some fault, just as fire is covered by smoke. Therefore, one should not give up the work born of his nature. The son of Kunti, even if such work is full of fault. In conditioned life, all work is contaminated by material modes of nature. Even if one is a Brahmana, he has to perform sacrifices in which animal killing is necessary. Similarly, a Kshatriya, however pious he may be, has to fight enemies. He cannot avoid it. Similarly, a merchant, however pious he may be, must sometimes hide his profit to stay in business. Or he may sometimes have to do business on the black market. These things are necessary. One cannot avoid them. Similarly, even though a man is a Sudra, serving a bad master, he has to carry out the order of the master, even though it should not be done. Despite these laws, one should continue to carry out his prescribed duties, for they are born out of his own nature. Very nice example given here. Although fire is pure, still there is smoke. Yet smoke does not make the fire impure. Even though there is smoke in the fire, fire is still considered to be the purest of all elements. If one prefers to give up the work of a Kshatriya and take up occupation of Brahmana, he is not assured that in the occupation of a Brahmana there are no unpleasant duties. One may then conclude that the material world, no one can be completely free from the contamination of material nature. This example of fire and smoke is very appropriate in this connection. When in wintertime one takes stone from the fire, sometimes smoke disturbs the eyes and other parts of the body, but still one must make use of the fire despite disturbing conditions. Similarly, one should not give up his natural occupation because there are some disturbing elements. Rather, one should be determined to serve the Supreme Lord by his occupational duty in Krishna consciousness. That is the perfectional point. When a particular type of occupation is performed for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord, all the defects in that particular occupation are purified. And the results of work are purified. When connected with devotional service, one becomes perfect in seeing the self within, and that is self-realization. So, reading the translation again, every endeavor is covered by some fault, just as fire is covered by smoke. Therefore, one should not give up the work born of his nature, the son of Kunti, even if such work is full of fault. So, of course, this verse, it's Krishna is speaking to Arjuna, in order to encourage him to do his duty as a Kshatriya. Because in the beginning of the Gita, he became Karpanya dosha pahata swabhava. His heart was filled with dosha, miserliness, Karpanya. He became very compassionate, of course, but also he was not doing his duty as a Kshatriya. So, in that sense, Krishna had to encourage him. And it was time for Krishna to speak the Bhagavad Gita in order to encourage Arjuna to do his duty. But so people misunderstand and think that the Gita is just encouraging us to do our duty. If you are a student, you do your student duty. If you are working as in the corporate, you do that, and that's all. That's what life is about. So we must understand that is not. There is limited duty that is connected to our nature. If you look, all of us, if you see our astrological charts, we all have different natures, different inclinations. Someone has a tendency to be a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, right? But if that duty is not coming to Yagyanartha Karmano Nyatra, Lokoyam Karma Bandhana. If you see the Gita, Krishna says, so Krishna says here that Tadartam karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. So work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu has to be performed. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, son of Kunti, perform your prescribed duties for his satisfaction. And in that way, you will always remain free from bondage. So whatever work we perform, it has to be satisfying the Supreme Lord Vishnu. If that work is against, we are saying the very famous words, right? Karmane vadikaraste ma phalesu kadachana. Ma karma phala heturvur mate sangostu karmani. So everybody has a right to perform their duty, right? But one should not be attached to the fruits of that labor. And how do we not attach? You should offer it to the Lord. But what if I say that, okay, I will do terrorism, I will do robbery, and then I'll offer it to the Lord. So you must understand the karma has to be prescribed duty. There is karma, akarma, vikarma. Vikarma means activities which are against the order of the Vedas. Right? Hi adharmascha viparyaya. Vedo narayana sakshat. So Vedas, whatever is prescribed in the Vedas, that is dharma. What is against the prescription of the Vedas, that is adharma. So when you perform your karma, it is supposed to fall in this circle. So you must perform your duty, your karma, but that sacrifice has to be done as a prescribed duty. Then slowly, so anyway, what my point is that we have all these duties. Somebody is like having the nature of Kshatriya, somebody has the nature of Brahmana, somebody Vaishya, somebody is Sudra, right? But the satisfaction has to be towards Vishnu. Actually, in the, what is the verse, Prabhu? Varnashram acharavata Purushena Parapuman Vishnu Raradha. 1 to 13. Is it? Atapumbir Dvijashreshta. Because this verse is also there. Atapumbir Dvijashreshta Varanashrama Vibhagashaha Chanutsitasya Dharmasya Samstitim Haritoshanam. So, the best among toys born, it is therefore concluded that the highest perfection one can achieve by discharging the duties prescribed for one's own occupation according to caste division and orders of life is to please the personality of Godhead. So your duty must please the personality of Godhead. In fact, if you see Prahlad Maharaj, he's saying in this verse here, Etavan evalokesmin pumsha shwartha parasmrita ekanta bhaktir govinde yat sarvatra tadikshanam. Prahlad Maharaj is speaking to his friends here, I think. In the material world, to render service to the lotus feet of Govinda, the cause of all causes, and to see him everywhere is the only goal of life. This much alone is the ultimate goal of human life, as explained by all revealed scriptures. This is the ultimate point of all revealed scriptures. Right? Ekanta bhaktir govinde, yat sarvatra tadikshanam. So whatever we are performing, our prescribed duties, whatever it may be, one has to satisfy the Supreme Lord, Haritoshanam, Samsiddhim Haritoshanam, right? And that is why Prahlad Maharaj was feeling confused when his father, when his gurus were advising him, they were telling him, go and perform, go, this is friends, this is enemy, you have to do politics like that. Prahlad Maharaj was very confused. He said, no, this is not the real dharma of life. The real dharma of life is to satisfy Vishnu. So when his father was asking him, what is the best thing, Prahlad? What did you learn in the school? Right? So he says, what is it? 7.5. Yeah. So 7.55. So he's telling his father, Tat sadhu manye, asura varya dehinam, O father, who is of the greatest of all asuras. Sada samut diknadhyam asad grahat. I think there's an echo. Hitvam patam graham andakupam manam yat gato yat tarimasrayeta. He says to his father, O best of asuras, O kings of demons, as far as I've learned from my spiritual master, of course the spiritual master is speaking about here is, who is that? Narada. So he thought his father is thinking he learned from his two demons, the Sukracharya's son, Sanda and Amarka, right? I have learned from my spiritual master, any person who has accepted a temporary body and temporary household life is certainly embarrassed by anxiety because of having fallen into the dark well where there is no water, but only suffering, andakupam. So one should give up this position and go to the forest, vana. More clearly, one should go to Vrindavana, where only Krishna consciousness is prevalent and should thus take the shelter of the Supreme Personality Godhead. So this is the highest dharma. So whatever we are performing, be it Kshatriya, Vaishya, Brahmana, Sudra, doesn't matter. We have to be devoted to the Supreme Lord, Vishnu. There's a verse from the Subhashita. It says that Satam Vihaya Bhoktavyam. Right? Satam Vihaya, no, Satam is, Satam Vihaya Bhoktavyam. Then, what is 1000? Sahasra Vihaya Snatavyam. So, Sata Vihaya Bhoktavyam, Sahasra Vihaya Snatavyam. One should give up hundreds of duties to eat at the right time, Bhoktavyam. And then, Sahasra Vihaya Snatavyam. We should give up thousands of other duties to bathe at the right time. Of course, the best time to bathe is what? Mangalarati time. It is said that in the Mangalarati time, the bathing is as good as bathing in Ganga actually. Then after that, he says that Laksham Vyaya Datavyam. One should give up, Laksham means lakhs, right? Hundreds and thousands of things just to do proper charity. Then Kotim Tyaktva Harim Bhajet. One should give up, Kotim is what, 10 million? 10 millions of things you should give up just to engage in the bhajan of Hari. Kotim Tyaktva Bhajam Hari. Harim Bhajayate. So this is the thing we have to do. We have to come and engage in the Hari Bhajan. This is the point. This is the difficulty we are facing in the Kali-yuga. So of course, why this verse was selected, Venugopal Prabhu only selected this verse. He wanted me to connect this to the Tirupati incident actually. because everything is covered by contamination, as you can see in this today's verse also. So whatever it is, you do your duty. What is the duty? Yes, you do your duty as Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, but the main duty of your life is to Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nama eva kevala. Kalau nasteva gatiranyata. So this is the dharma of Kali Yuga. So now, if you're wondering, so what is happening with the situation in Tirupati? So it's a very big shock that everyone went through, right? But nobody, just shock in the mind, but actions are not coming. There is no nothing from the Hindu community. There's no protest, nothing going to, because this is a great, like Tathir Prabhu is saying that, those days when the rishis were doing yagya, the asuras and the rakshasas and asuras, they used to come and throw into the fire all the contamination, urine, pus, blood, meat. So right now the same asuras are doing that, but in a technological way, using some factory and all machineries, mixing it, giving it to the Lord. Right? So we must understand one thing, that in Kali-yuga, so I'm quoting a verse which basically Prahlad Prabhu actually made a video on this recently in Tamil. So he quoted this verse, Pumsam Kali Kritan Doshan. We are talking about dosha, right? Pumsam Kali Kritan Doshan, Dravya Deshatma Sambhava, Sarvan Harati Chittasto, Bhagavan Purushottama. So you see here, it said that in Kali Yuga, the objects, the places, and even individual personalities are polluted. Everywhere you're going to find a dosha. Everywhere you're going to find these faults. Even in the most holiest place like Tirupati, we are seeing this pollution is intentionally happening. Because what is happening, the Hindus are sleeping. They are sleeping. We let the politicians control. What's going to happen? So all these things are polluted, but the almighty personality of Godhead, however, can remove all such contamination from the life of one who fixes the Lord within his mind. So one must understand that the Lord is not polluted in any time. Krishna cannot be polluted. Just like the sun is never polluted. The sun may evaporate the urine, and make the place pure also. Whereas if you touch the urine, you're going to get contaminated. And not only the Lord is not polluted, but if you see the pure devotees, Eitadishanam isasya prakriti stopi tad gunai na yujjate sadhatmaste stair yata buddhes tat ashraya. This is the divinity of the personality of God. He is not affected by the qualities of material nature, even though he is in contact with them. Similarly, the devotees who have taken shelter of the Lord do not become influenced by the material qualities. A pure devotee also is not contaminated. Like I was watching the Srila Prabhupada, the following Srila Prabhupada series. So the Prabhupada was attending Radha Yatra, I think in San Francisco. This is somewhere in 1974. Huge chariot the devotees constructed. And Prabhupada, he did not care. He just bowed down in the middle of the road. The road was so dirty. So there was a very small girl there with her father. So she's a devotee, yes, maybe 5-6 years old. She's very intelligent. She saw Prabhupada bowing down on the road. And then she told the father, my God, how come Prabhupada is touching the road so dirty, so muchi? Then the father was like, father was going to give an answer, but the daughter suddenly said that, oh, I know how. Because Prabhupada, he's so pure, he looks at the road and he cleans the whole road up and then he bows down. He purifies the road. So then the father said, yes, the girl understood. So this is the thing, that the pure devotees are not disturbed and not, they are not affected by this. But that does not mean that we should offer such kind of impure dosha kind of act. In fact, if you look at Tirupati Balaji's story, right? Balaji descended from the spirit Vaikuntha, right? Because he was angry. Sorry, his wife Lakshmi Devi was angry, right? Because he got kicked by Bhrigu Muni in the chest. So he left the abode. Sri Vaikuntha Viraktaya Swami Pushkarini Tate Ramaya Ramamanaya Venkateshaya Vankal. So he renounced Vaikuntha Viraktaya, because his wife Rama Devi had come to earth. So this is the thing. The Lord is also not interested so much in Vaikuntha. He is always thinking when I can come and help the jivas, in the material world who are suffering. That's the mercy he has. All the deities that you see all over the world, that is the mercy of the Lord. That is the Archa Vigraha, his expansion to save us. So similarly, when his wife came, he also came. And then she was so much angry with him, so she went away, and he was sitting in one place and meditating. So even in the the Lord's life, there is some domestic troubles. You see, of course, there is transcendental. If you read about the transcendental domestic activities of the Lord, your domestic problem also will be finished. Understand? Just like how when you hear how Krishna is taking birth, your birth is finished. When you hear how Krishna, when he was in the jail, Krishna was born in the prison, right? When Krishna was lifted up, I'm quoting Vishnu Prabhu, he was telling this point. Krishna was lifted up, all the shackles of Vasudeva was gone. Huh? So when you hear about the prison life of Krishna, your prison life is finished. You understand? That is the power of the Lord. And you hear his stealing activities. Hara hara iti papani. When you hear the Lord is stealing, your papa is stolen away. Narayana namanaro naranam prasiddha chauram karitam pratibhyam aneka janmarchita papa sanchayam hritva sesham shut mata eva. So the holy name of Narayana is like a thief. It will thief. You're saving so much of, like I said before, you may have $1 million, somebody may have 100,000, somebody may have $1,000. Whole life we are just saving this much of money. But actually we are saving mountains of sin. Unlimited sins everybody have. So that one is stolen away by the Lord. So like that, when we hear about the glorious pastimes of the Lord, when you hear how he is bounded by Mother Yashoda, then you get unbound. Who got unbounded? After he got bounded, who got unbounded? Manigriva and Alakova. Both of them got unbounded. Right? So this is the potency of the Lord. So now the Lord, he's meditating Balaji in the anthill. And then, of course, we know that I think Brahma and Lord Shiva come as a cows to give him milk. They were pouring the milk in the hole, the ant hole. And then, so one day the cowherd man was angry, right? He was angry why the milk is reduced. So he was finding out. He went to see these two cows are giving milk here, and immediately what he did, he took the weapon to attack the cow. So what kind of cowherd man is he? He's supposed to be protecting the cows, but he didn't protect. He wanted to attack, and what happened? That was the first appearance of the Lord. Even though he came before, his first appearance came from the anthill. For what purpose? What was the purpose? Because the axe was going to hit the cow, he came out of the anthill to protect the cow. That's why his name is called Govinda. Right? Govinda means one who gives pleasure to the senses of the cow. He protects the cow. Everything is related to the cows. Goloka, right? The whole loka is cows only. Govardhana. So the Lord, so you must understand a very significant point here, that many things in different avatars, the Lord comes to perform different activities. In Balaji avatar, he came very specifically. The first thing he did was protecting of cows. And what is happening now in Tirupati is that same person who protected the cows, he's not offered that ghee of pure ghee. How much contamination is going on, you see? Right? So this cannot be carrying on like that. The Lord may be merciful to forgive, right? But we, as devotees, we cannot allow to see this, right? So we have to do something about this. But another important point to note is that in Kali-yuga, it is very difficult to do anything like that. Because if you see this verse, Kriyate Dayato Vishnu, what is that? 11, 12, 52. Yeah. Kriyate yad jayato Vishnum tretayam yadato makai dvapare paricharyayam kalota darikirtanat. So it is said that whatever result was obtained in Satyuga by meditating on Vishnu, in Treta Yuga by performing sacrifices, in Dwapara Yuga by serving the Lord's lotus feet, can be obtained in Kali Yuga simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So in Satyuga, the process is Kriyate Dhyayato Vishnu, meditation on Vishnu. Treta Yuga is performing the Havans. Dwapara Yuga is serving the Lord's lotus feet. This is temple worship in Dwapara Yuga. So all this huge temple worship, you see Tirupati and all this from Dwapara Yuga, But we can see now what is happening. We cannot maintain it. So simply by so in Kali Yuga, the Lord descended as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he gave a very simple process. Just chant this Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. That's exactly what we have to do. Because whatever temples, everything is going to go. We try our best, of course. We have to try our best. This is our, it's our duty to do it. But the point is, the holy name is actually the real thing that is going to save all of us. And actually, if you see this verse, there's 3 things mentioned here. So, of course, this is just a thought, because previously Prabhu gave a class. Prabhu said, Kriyate yad dhyayato Vishnum tretayam ajato make dvapare paricharyayam. So, there's 3 things here. Similarly, he said, when you say, Kalo nasteva, gatiranyata. Right? So Prabhu was saying that, I think he's quoting Prabhupada's lecture only. That means Karma Yoga is not going to work in Kali Yuga. This Jnana Yoga is not going to work. Nasteva. Jnana Yoga, Nasteva. And then this Hatha Yoga also not going to work. Another Nasteva. These 3 things is not going to work. What is going to work is Bhakti Yoga. Similarly, here also you can connect that. This meditation on Vishnu not going to work, Nasteva. And this Yajna also not going to work, this temple worship not going to work. So we have to build the temple in your heart actually. Because we're going to gather and see, I was saying in Chaitanya Bhagavat, in Chaitanya Bhagavat, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu displayed his Prema Bhakti for the first time, after meeting his spiritual master Ishvara Puri. Before that, he was a very argumentative scholar. After he met his guru and he had a transformation of his heart, right? So he came back to Navadvip, and then the first thing they did was he told the devotees, please let us meet in Shuklamba Brahmachari's house. And in that house, he started to speak blabbering words about how he cannot tolerate the separation of Krishna. So when the devotees all heard this and saw this, in fact, when conversation was going on, Gadadhar Pandit was hiding inside the house. Because Gadadhar Pandit, from a young age, Gadadhar Pandit is Radharani himself. So he is always in Krishna Prem already. So he's always waiting when my Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will become like this, mad about Krishna. So he wanted to come and see what's going on. When he saw what is happening and he saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu deep in that devotion, he fainted in the house like that. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard the sound, who's there? So after that, all the devotees went and they reported to Advaita Acharya. Because Advaita Acharya is that personality who brought down Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this age of Kali. Because this age of Kali was becoming worse and worse day by day. If you look at this 12th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th canto, chapter 2, chapter 3, all the symptoms of the Kali Yuga is mentioned. And it's terrible. Example, if you see, I'll give you one verse. Sindhostatam Chandrabhagam Kauntim Kashmir Mandalam Bhokshanti Sudra Vartyatya Milechas Chabharam Varchasaha. Kashmir, County, the land along the Chandabhaga river, the land along Sindhu river will all be ruled by Sudras, fallen Brahmanas and meat eaters. Having given up their path of Vedic civilization, they will have lost spiritual strength. So people are saying, how this scripture is true? 5,000 years ago, this was predicted that India will lose Kashmir. Right? You think this is a joke? We are talking some fairy tale story here? Is Kashmir under... not only Kashmir, I'm sorry. Even the Pakistan area was totally... If you look at this Chandabhaga river, if you look it up, it's all near the Kashmir area, Pakistan area. completely lost, right? So like that in Kali Yuga, many crazy things will be happening. People will be so much contaminated. They'll be killing the child in the womb, their own child, like that. They'll be eating all sorts of crazy things. So many doshas, unlimited number, right? So Advaita Acharya was the personality who said, "My Lord, you need to come. If you don't come, who's going to save us?" Right? So when Advaita Acharya was given this report that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for the first time is showing some symptoms of prema bhakti now, then Advaita Acharya understood that this is that personality whom he prayed and called for to descend. And then he made a declaration. I'll make a declaration now that very soon everybody in every town, every village will be gathering in the house or outside the house of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So do you think it's only that house in Navadip? No, right? This is also the house of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The temples all over the world, the Hare Krishna temples. This is all the house of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in every town, every village. In fact, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was told by his guru, don't go to Calcutta. Okay, he told like that. Don't go to Calcutta. Don't make temples. Don't even take disciples. 3 things he told. And when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is giving a speech, he always says that I follow my guru very, very strictly. So how come he broke these 3 rules? Yeah. Actually, he didn't break the rules because he is accepting disciples on behalf of his guru. He's giving them the parampara of Krishna, not for his own personal benefit. And when he said, why you went to Calcutta? He said, I'm not in Calcutta. This Bagbaza temple is an embassy of the spiritual world. This is embassy of Vaikuntha. This is not Calcutta. So that is the thing. Prabhupada was also asked this question. Prabhupada said, I am not in Los Angeles. I am always in Vrindavan because I am carrying Vrindavan in my heart. Understand? The pure devotee is always carrying Vrindavan in the heart. I am not in Calcutta, Los Angeles. Because I am always in touch with Vrindavan. My consciousness is in Vrindavan. That is what is important. So this is what, and also Prabhupada said, just like the king may be sitting in the throne and the buck may be sitting on the same throne, it doesn't mean that the bug is becoming a king now. Right? That's because you're sitting in the same throne as the king, you're a king. No. The consciousness is what matters. See, so similarly, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu descended, he descended, yes, to bring, what he wants to bring is that Hare Krishna mantra into our lives. He wants to make the shift in that consciousness in our life, to give this holy name. And when you chant this holy name, no matter what happens, you're not going to be implicated in the, of course, you have to follow the rules and regulations, the 4 principles, strictly. You're not going to be implicated. So if you see this verse also, regarding the Tirupati case again, considering all these points, therefore intelligent men decide to solve all problems by adopting the devotional service of chanting the holy name of the Lord, who is situated in everyone's heart and who is a mind of all auspicious qualities. Such persons are not within the jurisdiction of punishment. Generally, they never commit sinful activities, but even if they, by mistake or because of bewilderment or illusion, they sometimes commit sinful acts, they are protected from the sinful reactions because they always chant the Hare Krishna mantra. So those who are chanting Hare Krishna mantra, if you accidentally eat the laddus, I'm just joking, but I'm just giving a laddu as a reference. Anything else? You think only the laddu in the Tirupati is sinful? Every single thing going on in our life is sinful. Huh? Somehow or other, we are committing these sinful activities. Of course, we should not be chanting with the thought that, oh, now I'm chanting and my sinful is finished. Now I'll commit more sins. There's all nama aparat. You cannot commit nama aparat. So you have to chant with sincerity to the Lord that I have fallen in this material world. I'm suffering. Please, please uplift me. Please save me. Please give me your shelter. I've left your shelter. Rakshamam, Sharanagati, Sharanagata. And if you behave like that, if you carry like that, yes, so this is the one. Kalau kritayugam tasya kalistasya kritayuge yasya chetasi govindo hridaye yasya nayutaha. One who has Lord Govinda in his heart, Satyuga becomes manifest in the midst of Kali. And conversely, even Satyuga becomes Kali-yuga for one who does not have the infallible Lord in the heart. So very important that heart needs to be purified. If the heart is not purified, you can go to hundreds of temples, you can break hundreds of coconuts. You can keep doing this mechanically. Understand? That transformation of the heart, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, Pahamahadavagni Nirvapanam, Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam, Vidyavadu Jivanam. So these 7 things are mentioned in the first verse of the Shastaka. So you must understand, every morning we are chanting Shastaka prayers, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prayers. But it's extremely, extremely deep and important because these prayers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, let me give you an example. When you read the Bhagavad Gita, you read, and the essence of the Gita is that Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mam Ekam Saranam Vaja. Surrender unto me, Krishna saying. Give up all duties. So today he's talking about these duties and that duties, right? In the end, he will say, give it up also. Surrender unto me. Mam Ekam Saranam Vaja. This is the goal of Bhagavad Gita. But how to surrender? Mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. If you study the Bhagavatam, then you will know how to surrender. Then you will know that you must surrender through the pure devotees. So many leelas, so many stories of the pure devotees, Srutasya pumsam suchirashramasya nanvanjasa irido iritaha tattat gunana shravanam mukunda padaravendam hirdayeshu esham. So you must put Shutasya pumsam suchirashramasya. You must put a lot of shrama, hard work. To do what? What is the shrama for? To study exams? To get some neat placements and all these things? No. Your shrama should be used to hear the pastimes of the devotees of Hari. Because devotees of Hari always carry, now you're seeing, right? You're carrying the Lord in the heart. The devotees of Hari carry the Lord in the heart. So you put your heart and soul to listen to their leelas, their pastimes, their activities. You will become purified very fast, immediately. Understand? So that transformation of the heart is needed. So now, I was talking about Bhagavad Gita first. Bhagavad Gita's goal is to surrender to Krishna. How to surrender to Krishna? You come to Bhagavatam, right? Bhagavatam gives you the whole process, how to surrender, how to engage in devotional service, the story about Krishna, the story about his devotees, everything is there. And the last verse of Bhagavatam, you know what it says? 13:23. Nama Sankirtana Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Pranamo Dukkha Samanas Tam Namami Harim Param. So you must understand, this is the final instructions. Okay, final instruction. I offer my respectful obeisance unto the personality, the Supreme Lord Hari, the congregational chanting whose holy names destroyed all sinful reactions, and the offering of obeisances unto whom relieves all material suffering. So after speaking 18,000 verses, 17,999 verses, the final verse is stressing that one should engage in the Nama Sankirtana Yasya. So you must understand that the final point of any book is the most important point, right? The conclusion verse. So Bhagavatam says you must engage in the chanting of the holy names of the Lord, and this holy name will destroy all sinful actions, relieves you of material suffering. So now how to chant the holy name of the Lord? Then you come to the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And Chaitanya Charitamrita is the entire book of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's most authoritative biography of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his life, his pastimes, the pastimes of all the devotees. All the tattvas are also there, beautifully composed by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj to teach us how we can engage in the Nama Sankirtana of the Lord. You see how it's going from primary school to secondary to the degree and then, masters, like that. So Chaitanya Charitamrita now is not finished. You know what happened in the last chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita? Antya? Siksastaka. So this is the point. The point is, after living the entire life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you know what the final thing he's telling? The last chapter, if you look at Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is the chapter of the Siksastaka prayers. The 8 important prayers that he has experienced in his madness of Krishna Prem, and that 8 verses. If you can live by these 8 verses, then you're going to come out of all these difficulties, these doshas and all the problems. You understand? Because if you see the life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he lived on this planet, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, non-different from Krishna and Radharani. He came in, what was the year? 1486? Right? 1486. 1486 he appeared. He lived on this earth for 48 years. Out of the 48 years, 24 years he was, like a scholar. Was married. After that he took sannyas at 24. So the next 24 years of his life, he was in Jagannath Puri. It's actually the first 6 years he was traveling around. On the left is what? 18 years. Last 18 years he was yes. So last 18 years he was staying in Jagannath Puri. And in that 18 years, first 6 years he was engaging in Nama Sankirtanam. Last 12 years he was totally immersed in the mood of Radharani, in the Gambhira. Jai Shri Shri Radha. So completely he isolated himself in the Gambhira, is in Puri, and he was experiencing transcendental madness. He was experiencing the love of Godhead, which Radharani, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has 2 purposes. One purpose is to bring the Nama Sankirtan and help us. Another thing is he wanted to experience the love of Radharani. What Radharani experienced, I want to experience. Krishna wanted to experience, so he came in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu form. So the last 12 years of his life was completely devoted to experiencing this. And what he's speaking, the Siksastaka. Right? So not normal, not ordinary prayers. So if you want to understand the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and you want to get Krishna in your heart, you want to have Nama Sankirtana in your heart, you want to have Govinda in your heart, then one has to understand the Siksastaka. These 8 prayers. So every morning also we are chanting them in the temple. And of course the first prayer we know, Cheto Dharpana Marjanam, that mana, the manas, the consciousness is like a mirror. So this mirror, once you chant the Hare Krishna mantra, that mirror is cleansed. The dust from that heart is removed. Because when mirror is dusty, you cannot see yourself. You do not know who you are. Why we are doing so many things? Why we are getting stress? Why we are getting depression? Why we are not happy? Because unless you know who you are, how you can act in the right way. Correct? If you do not know that you are, the story of the ugly duckling. Actually, the duckling was a swan. He thought he's a duck. He's black in color. Everybody was making fun of him, right? But when he understood he's a swan, then he's happy. So similarly, now we think that we are like the ugly duckling. We are in this material world. We are feeling so ugly. Actually, we are beautiful part and parcel of Krishna. We're meant for his service. So Cheto Dharpana Marjanam means to cleanse that heart by the chanting. Bahamaha Davagni Nirvapanam. So this it eradicates the vile fire. there's a huge, massive wildfire happening. So the chanting of the holy name destroys this fire everywhere. So this is what Balaji, Tirupati Balaji, or any deity, they would want us to be always engaged in the Nama Sankirtan, not just when we go to Tirupati, we say Govinda, Govinda. And then when we come out of the temple, we are back to our Bollywood songs and Bollywood, whatever. Right? Yeah, delusion. Then Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam. So it's like a moonlight, very cooling moonlight, which blossoms the Kairava Chandrika, the lily in the heart. Vidyavadu Jivanam. And is the light, it is full of knowledge. This Hare Krishna mantra is full of knowledge. When you have knowledge, wisdom, then you are happy, right? When you are not having knowledge, you feel not happy. If you think about it, the day where you do not gain any wisdom, you don't feel happy. Now, let's say, like I said before, nobody tells proudly that, I am very happy I scrolled Instagram for 2 hours today. Nobody is going to say that because it's not a wise thing to do. In fact, they call it the doom scroll. You keep scrolling, you're losing your brain cells only. But on that day, you study Krishna Bhagavad Gita, 5 verses you study. You feel happy, because you're getting the Vidyavadu Jivanam. And then Anandam Ambudhi Vardhanam. It is an ocean of unlimited pleasure. Everyone wants pleasure. Pratipadam Purnamita Swadanam. And every word and every step and every syllable of this chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, it gives you unlimited joy and pleasure. Right? Then Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtan. So all glories to the Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. So this mantra, this Hare Krishna mantra is the only way in this Kali-yuga that we can clear all these doshas that we are having, because the Lord, he's free from all doshas. You know that, right? The thing is, the Lord you cannot count his qualities also. He has unlimited guna. Hari Nirguna Shakshat. Unlimited qualities. You cannot count. Even Anantasesh cannot count. You also cannot count his doshas. How can you tell me how you cannot count his doshas? Any answer? You cannot count his qualities, all his good qualities. You cannot also count his bad qualities. So how come you cannot count the bad qualities? Anybody wants to answer that? Why you cannot count the Lord's bad qualities? Why there's zero? Because there is none. No. What do you think Krishna has any bad qualities? Because he has zero bad qualities. So you cannot count that also. For us, opposite. You cannot count our good qualities because we don't have anything. You cannot count our bad qualities because we have unlimited bad qualities. You understand? So, but if you take shelter of the Hare Krishna mantra, then you develop all the good qualities that is found in the Lord, that is found in the devotees. So we see in this sloka, those who actually advance in knowledge are able to appreciate the essential value of Kali-yuga. Such enlightened person worship Kali-yuga because in this age, in this fallen age, by all perfection of life can be easily achieved by the performance of Sankirtan. So this is how we should live our life, by dedicating our life to the chanting, the hearing, the glorification of the holy names of Krishna. And how to do that is, you can have the beads. We have the beads. You can chant every day, at least one round. You see a huge transformation in your heart. Many times we approach people, we want a shortcut in our life, right? You ask this question, what is that one thing I can do, everything I can, this is that one thing. You just do this one thing, and everything in your life will be aligned. Now what we are trying to do is we are trying to do here something, that something, and messing up here, messing up there. Just leave it. Just surrender unto the Lord's Nama Sankirtan. In fact, the Nama Sankirtan is more even potent, more merciful than Krishna also. That same Nama Sankirtan descended, right, to save Gajendra. The Nama Sankirtan descended to save Draupadi. Huh? So in Kali Yuga, what is the problem is we have Krishna's personal association is not here. Huh? So we have, but what we have is his instructions. That instructions is still there. If you look at the Siksastaka, now I was explaining, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's final instruction was Siksastaka, and there was nothing written after that. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami did not go and explain how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu disappeared from this planet. Right? Of course, it is very painful to describe the disappearance. The devotees will feel, we see in the song Jai Anilo Premathan, right? The fire of separation is very painful. But why is not described is also because the Lord is present in his instructions. He never disappears. Prabhupada is always present in his instructions. He is never disappearing. If you're going to read the books, Prabhupada books, you're going to associate with him personally. Similarly, if you look at Arjuna, when Krishna left the planet, Arjuna was very depressed. Arjuna was crying so much. We see this sloka, Srimad Bhagavatam. Sutta Goswami, thus being deeply absorbed in thinking of the instruction of the Lord. So Sutta Goswami is saying, so Arjuna, now Krishna, you must understand, Krishna really left the planet now. Arjuna is crying so much. And then he was deeply absorbed in the thinking of the instructions of the Lord, which were imparted in great intimacy of friendship. And thinking of his lotus feet, Arjuna's mind became pacified and free from all material contamination. So Krishna is not present. If you study the Bhagavad Gita, you are going to see him directly. If you chant the holy name of Krishna, you're going to associate with him directly. Similarly, when Arjuna was in the same situation, he just remembered the instructions of the Lord. And he brought back his mind. And then Arjuna's constant remembrance of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna rapidly increased his devotion. And as a result, all the trash in his thoughts subsided. The more you keep remembering the lotus feet of Krishna, the pastimes of Krishna, everything that is related to Krishna, Krishna anusilanam, anything connected to Krishna, then all the trash that is in our heart gets in our heart, our mind, Cheto Darpana Marjanam we discussed earlier, everything is cleared. Sarvatma Snapanam, everything destroyed. Then where is the separation from the Lord then? So this is this is what we have to do in the Kali Yuga. We have to take shelter. We have to hold tightly to the shelter. And similarly, our spiritual master is not that he's no longer present with us. He's present in this instruction. Even if you see in the Bhagavatam, Uddhava, when Krishna left the planet, Uddhava was given so much of instruction, right? Uddhava Gita was. And Krishna says, now I'm leaving. Remember everything that I've said and repeat them to the rishis in the Himalayas and go out of this Kali Yuga, go out of this material world. Don't stay here anymore. Kali Yuga is coming. So this is how we should, like bringing it back to today's verse, a lot of contamination going on. The only way we can purify ourselves and the only way we can have the vaccine. All of us are putting this COVID vaccine and all. That's not going to save the soul. The real vaccine that is going to save your soul is that remembrance of Krishna, the Nama Sankirtana of Krishna. In fact, if you see in the Chaitanya Bhagavad, it is mentioned how the Lord was coming out to do his Sankirtan for the first time. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for 1 year was doing Sankirtan privately inside the home of Srivas Thakur. He was not showing it out to the people because people were not very sinful. Of course, this Sankirtan is for everyone, right? People are being sinful, so he was not bringing it out. He was just dancing inside with a few selected devotees. But what made the Sankirtan come out was Chankazi. Chankazi, the Muslim magistrate, right? Muslim magistrate. He was very angry. The devotees were all coming, singing, because those days in Hindus, they don't used to do this so much. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revolutionized Sanatan Dharma. He brought this Kirtan. People just used to do Yagya and Havan and all. So he brought something new, and even the Hindus, the Brahmins were against it. They were complaining to the Muslim magistrate, the army. So Chand Kazi got very angry. He came and saw what is happening. These people are all chanting Hari, Hari, Hari. He took the Mridanga, he broke it. And he said, nobody should chant this holy name anymore in Navadip. If any of you all chant, I will destroy you all. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard this news that the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the Kali-yuga Dharma was prevented, he said, he told everyone in every house, gather together, carry all the torches, wooden, you put torch. Everybody come with torch. We will go on a strike. We will go on a protest. I think this is the first strike ever in India during the Mughal period. Civil disobedience. So then the every hundreds and thousands of people were going on the road, and not just going on the road, no, not just protesting like that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu organized every group with various of his devotees, leaders, were organized and singing Hare Krishna mantra, Hari Kirtan, Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha, Gopal Govindaram Sri Madhusudan. So they were singing like that. They were all dancing in ecstasy. So all those people who were waiting to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dance, for 1 year they cannot see, right? Because of this Chankazi, this Muslim magistrate, they were all given the darshan to see how the Lord was dancing in ecstasy. And seeing the Lord dancing, everybody's eyes was filled with tears. The hairs were standing. Such a transcendental. Krishna himself came to dance. Nowadays world we are fighting wars. Any problem, you take up the weapons and fight. Anybody had fought a war by dancing? Any world peace had achieved by dancing? This is the Nama Sankirtana. It is going to give world peace. If anybody dance with us, dance in the movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there will be world peace. You can stop all the wars. Another example, Krishna. When he was fighting Kaliya, you see that? Did he use weapons? No. Did he punch? Just dance. Simply dancing and glorifying the Lord. Same thing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did. And everyone, when the atheists, there were so many atheists in the place, they were against God consciousness, they were against Krishna consciousness. And they saw the Lord dancing like that, they also started dancing. It was a flood, it was an ocean of flood of people dancing together, chanting Hari, Hari, Hari. And then there was one thief inside the dancing party. He decided, let me go and start stealing from these devotees because they're all in ecstasy dancing. So he went there, he started pickpocketing. And he also, when he started hearing the Hare Krishna mantra, and he also started dancing, and he put back all the money, and he gave up his thief business. Why he gave up his thief business? Because all the sins he had accumulated by being a thief was stolen away by the Harinam. Understand how powerful the Hare Krishna mantra is. So that is the potency of the holy name. And the Lord brought that whole Sankirtan party, and they stand in front of the Qazi house, and he had a discussion with the Qazi. And the Qazi said, I will not stop this movement. I will not attack. This Hare Krishna mantra will not be stopped at all. Because he was convinced by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by debating. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu nicely debated and convinced him. And he also became, that Qazi, Muslim Qazi, became a devotee of Krishna after that. His samadhi is still there. In fact, it is said that Qazi is none other than Kamsa. Because when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, he addressed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as his nephew. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, my uncle, why are you hiding? So actually he's Kamsa's avatar. So you can understand how merciful Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. When Kamsa was killed by Krishna, Kamsa became He went to the Brahman, Brahmajyoti. All the demons killed by Krishna don't go to the spiritual planet. They go to the Brahman only. You merge into the light. But in Chaitanya Leela, that same Kamsa attain a devotee's form in the spiritual world. So that's why we can understand so many things from this story. One problem discrepancy happened. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took on the road, brought the Harinam. One problem happening in Tirupati, nothing is going on. Nobody comes together. People, this is the time everyone should come together, unite, chant the holy name of Krishna, and transform our hearts, become devotees. Then only we can take action. Unless you have no love, how you will take action? We are using Tirupati Balaji as a business transaction. Go there, I'll give you this amount of money, you'll give me this. So any religion which is based on material benefit will not survive. You think that we keep saying, Sanatan Dharma, we have survived 1,000 years. It has survived because your forefathers were reading the books. They were reading Bhagavad Gita. They were following in their lives. You are not reading. Just having the symbols of Sanatan Dharma is not going to save Sanatan Dharma. You have to take up this movement seriously. You have to take up the Krishna conscious movement seriously. And what is so difficult? Dancing together. What we are doing earlier just now, Kirtan, right? So just come, participate with us, dance with us. Just by dancing and clapping your hands, all the pap, all the sins are destroyed. And you will have attain real success in your life. If you see this sloka, we'll finish this class very soon. Yadi dhurnam gata krishno vanasobekshanayatam aham purvam iti samsprishya remire. Sometimes Krishna would go to somewhat distant place to see the beauty of the forest. So this is Krishna in Vrindavan. He was seeing the forest. Beautiful forest. Now we are, if you go to Singapore, I think within a few weeks you got nothing to see already. It's a concrete jungle. Vrindavan forest was so natural. Then all the other boys would run to accompany him, each one saying, I shall be the first to run and touch Krishna. They are competing. I shall touch Krishna first. In this way, they enjoyed life repeatedly touching Krishna. All the boys are competing who is going to touch Krishna first. And you know what we are doing? We are competing who will be the first one to get $1 million. Why I'm going to Balaji? Because I can pray to him to get that $1 million. You understand the focus here? The focus is material enjoyment. Whereas these devotees, they want to touch Krishna. This is the real goal of life. And if you touch Krishna, then everything is. So our priorities has been wrong. But if we are like that, competing to catch Krishna, how to catch Krishna? You chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram. So, why not we compete to become a better devotee by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra? Why want to compete in the material atmosphere? What is the point? After you die, whatever you have acquired is finished. Again, you have to start again. Don't know where you will go, which body you will take, animal body or human body, you don't know. And you put in so much of competition in the material life, and you will only get pain and suffering. So let's become competition to increase our sadhana, our spiritual life, our reading, our chanting, our hearing. Right? Why not do that? So this is the thing. They always prioritize Krishna is first in their lives. So anyway, now it's difficult to do that. It's not easy to suddenly change your consciousness. But the first step that you take is to chant this Hare Krishna mantra. You chant this mantra and you see how Krishna is going to help you in your life. Okay? So this is a summary I can tell about today's class. I'll end here. So there's one question, but I don't think I can answer now due to the time limit. So we'll stop here then. Any other questions, any comments?